Update here on the 14th. Just looking at the chart, and over the last couple of months, I'm very biased to the downside. And so basically, I'm going to spend my weekend and part of this video just looking for any possible what would be the bull scenario, what would cause me to flip over to the bull side. And so if I'm looking at the chart, just because if you're biased one way, you can get burnt so easily. You don't have to be biased one way. My portfolio is biased to the downside. When would I throw in the towel and go to the bull side? So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. I think this is correct. We have A, B, C, W. This is most likely the X wave right here. Could be A, B too. This is an impulsive move, and we could still be seeing a second wave. But that remains to be seen. So this is either A or 1 right here. And then we have either 2 or B right here. I would say most likely. I don't think that this move is going to get over the top of 409.93. And if we're looking at where this would invalidate a second wave, we're looking at up here at 415 basically. Basically above this top. Then you start saying it's probably not a second wave. So 415 is a level we got to look at. It came close, but did not get there on this move. So second wave is still probable. We have 1, 2, and then we have this move down here, which was a 5-wave move. So this is I'm sorry, this is not a 5-wave move. This is A, B, C. So technically, the only way that this can be a impulse wave is if it's a beginning diagonal. I don't really like it that much, but if you go on like 4-hour time frame, could be. You have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Fourth wave comes back into the first wave, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another diagonal to end it. So just a whole diagonal, if you're looking at that as impulsive. That is the only way I can see this being the bottom right here. That's the only possible way. But then, if you're looking at this right here, and we get this move down here, even if it's ABC right here, this move is also ABC. So if this were a diagonal and this was a second wave, and that was the bottom, we would want to see an impulsive move right here, and we did not get that. So that's why I'm bearish bias. Just basically, this move is corrective. And so I think there's a chance, the most likely scenario, if this were going to go higher, the most likely scenario would have to be like this. A, pullback, B, and then get some kind of C wave up here. But that just doesn't seem very likely. So still, the most likely scenario is A, B, C. Get something down here. If we go to like 402, then I would look for like somewhere around 376, 377 for a C wave bottom. And then it could potentially be the bottom right here. And let's see. A retrace to 367 would take it to a little bit past the 0.61 fib. So very reasonable. So I think that that is the most likely scenario. I don't see a bullish scenario besides an ABC move here. And I think it's kind of unlikely. So I do think that we should fall here soon. I don't know how long it's going to melt up, but we are in the supply zone. I think in order to go higher, it's got to come back down here. And then that would be a second wave if this is beginning diagonal. And then we look at this as third wave could take us all the way to $448. So put a line there, potentially higher than that. And then we would be looking at, let's see, 367, 448, probably come back here to about 430. And then we would look at going to about basically right around the highs, maybe a little bit higher. So all-time highs at 483 to maybe 495. So that's the only way I can see this going higher and being the bottom. This has to be a diagonal, and then this has to come back down here. It could be a short C wave too, just come back into 374, but more than likely just based on how high it's going. Let's say it stops at 402. The top here was 410. 8 points lower than that, it's about 367. So this would look like this. Like that. And then at that point, we would have to say, and look at that actually, the 1.61 fib of this right here is actually at 473. So I think you could actually, let's see, you could actually say, I know that's not going to work because we're calling this the bottom. This would just basically be a 5-wave move from the bottom. The other possibility is that we got A, B, and then this is a 5-wave move. We get an expanded flat. Expanded flat would take us actually to right where I just pretty much did. So expanded flat would take us to 484. So that's something to look out for. But again, if this is an expanded flat, you'd have to consider this as a B wave. I think it looks impulsive, but again, I could see how you could call it a corrective wave too. I think it's impulsive though. So I would say the most likely scenario is actually a 5-wave move, but it also could be an expanded flat. Either way, it would be going to the same area for this bullish scenario. So then the question is, where would you call it quits on your bear position? Well, hopefully we get this move down. If we get this move down and it's an impulsive move, we have to see where it lands. If it lands in, if it just comes down here and lands at 353 or less, 353 to 370, pretty much going to say it's a C wave, most likely. Again, the 0.78 fib is a good place to say, okay, this is not a second wave. So around, so I guess past 361, then you can start saying this is probably going to end up being a third wave down, or a B wave down. So basically, where would I stop out though? Let's just say this keeps on melting up. I think that even though it's a corrective move, let's say we just keep on melting up and we go all the way up to 415 that I had highlighted earlier. I mean, I think that that's a hard question because it is a corrective wave. But I think once you get out of the supply zone here at 405, 406, and you start melting up and maybe get over these highs right here, then you got to start wondering, is this the bottom right here? I mean, it still could go A, B, and then get a C wave down here as well. So if that were to happen, it would probably have to come back anyway. So it'd be A, pull back, B, C wave higher, and then we get a 5-wave move down. A lot of different scenarios, but I'm not super worried about a bull move like straight up from here. Like everyone catching FOMO on this move. Maybe next week we get more upside and there's more FOMO. I will not be participating in that FOMO because that's going to be a good signal that we're close to the top. So basically, I don't see that many bull scenarios straight away from here. We're going to have to at least come down to like probably 390-ish and then go higher, or come all the way down here to 367 to 360, something like that, and then it could go higher. But yeah, I'm just concentrating on the bullish scenarios because I am biased to the downside. So I don't want to be looking at one side and get caught off guard and we just melt up. And you know, you got to have your stops too. I'm holding some puts, so that's my thought on SPY. I still think that regardless I still think this is not the end of the bear market. And even though it could be, it's more than likely that we're going to come down here and make new lows. So if we zoom out here on the weekly time frame, let's just see if this is the second wave right here, and we just finished the third wave in January of last year. We can come all the way down here to the 0.38 fib at 323. That's basically the pre-COVID high, and it's still valid. That's my target for the bear move anyway. Still at the 0.38 fib. And so that's the reason why I'm still pretty bearish. I think that this would be a very short move to end the bear market. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the chart right now. I'm just trying to find any bullish scenarios. Let me know if you have any other ones. Another one is an inverse head and shoulders. So that would be head, shoulder. I think that this would actually work out perfectly for it to come down here and test these lows right here. So we'd have shoulder, head, shoulder right here. Kind of exactly what I've been talking about. Come down here, test that, and then it goes higher all the way to 480. So that would make a lot of sense for this to be a 5-wave move beginning diagonal. If it came down here, hit the lows, and then we go all the way back up to 480. So I'll be watching that, but like just short term, I'm not really worried about a bull move just going straight up from here. We're going to at least pull back to 390, or at some point come down here and test these lows and then probably melt up if that's the case. Or we're going to get a third wave down and we're going to complete it right away. So let me know what you think in the comments. Those are my thoughts on if we're going to get a bull move and what I would be looking for. So let me know your thoughts. I know other people do Elliott Wave that watch this channel now, so I know you guys have thoughts too on this and what bullish scenarios you think could happen. Like, subscribe for more updates. I'll try to put out some daily updates on Tuesday during the day, but I might make some videos before Tuesday starts as well. So have a good weekend. Let me know what you think in the comments.